most likely they won't catch a people who were fed in the restaurant. Yeah, we don't know. He just says, let's go for a party. We went with him. We had a party. I mean, based on how serious the offense is, there might be something counted. But the point is, the person who is responsible for bringing is a person responsible for the consequence also. So he said, yeah, because I'm distributing, the hunter said, because I'm distributing with everyone, my two older fathers, my mother is old, my father is old, and my 2 children, my wife, I'm distributing with all of them. Maybe, it's going to be divided into 8 different categories. And, God will say, okay, one portion of sin will be kept with the wife, and other portion with the children, and other with father, mother. That's what the concept he had. Then I will say, I don't think so. Let's do this. You go and ask. Go and ask your 2 older fathers, or your father and mother, that I'm committing so much sin by killing the animals, which I know. He was a wise hunter. Most of the time, the people who are working as a butcher or hunting, they don't even know that there is a reaction to it. But he was wise. So he said, let me go and ask them. So he goes to the mother and father and said, Papa, Maya, to maintain you, I'm killing so many animals every single day and bring the money to you. Some sadhu told me there is a reaction, I don't mind, but are you willing to share with that? If we share anything with the 8 portion, maybe everyone gets a little bit and I don't suffer the most. And mother and father says, Beta, we are blind, we can't even see anything what you are doing. We sit in the house and you bring money at evening hours, we don't know how you are bringing. But it is your responsibility to know how the money is coming. It's your responsibility. No one says that. It's you. Then he said, maybe a good day, inka jivan chala gaya, maybe their life is gone, so they are not sharing anything with me. So maybe wife, I love her so much because I get so much gana for her. Entire Mangal Sutra I spent, $4,000 or $5,000 on that. Maybe she will say, let me go and ask the wife. And the wife says same thing. He said, when you married me, the condition was not that you are going to be a hunter and kill so many animals and you are going to maintain me and I'm going to share that. No, you said I'm going to keep you happy forever. That was the only condition. It doesn't matter how you bring the money, but you bring the money. And don't expect me to share anything with you. So wife rejected, the children rejected. Then he goes back to sadhu. And says, no one says that they are going to share. He says, yes. Everyone must maintain their family. It's important. But it is not in a cost of degrading yourself and putting yourself into the suffering condition. So therefore, it is important everyone is given a brain. If there was no bad and good work, why anybody needs a brain? Why anybody needs a common sense? Sometimes you tell the children that use your own common sense. So when it comes to the concept of akarma and vikarma, Krishna says use your common sense. Everyone has a common sense, isn't it? So everyone has to use this common sense. Just like Manusmriti, what does it say? We may feel that we are vegetarians. Those of us we are. We think that we are vegetarian, I'm not committing any sins. Most of the time we think this. But Manusmriti says that every one of the Grihastha families here have 5 different types of slaughterhouses in the home. घर के अंदर ही खाना है. When we talk about a slaughterhouse, we talk about the gross part of the slaughterhouse where the blood is flowing, when the animals are slaughtered. But the scripture says that everyone maintains 5 different types of slaughterhouses in the home. You know where the slaughterhouses are? Every time you turn on the fire, there are living entities dying right there. Isn't it? Anytime you vacuum your house. Yes? Anytime, you just roast a masala and you are trying to blend the masala to make a vegetable, nice vegetable sabji. The living entities are right there. Anytime you cut the vegetables, that are there. Anytime you drink the water, that are there. The Shastra say our goal is not to become, in a sense of, vegetarian, so I'm all fine. There are also other subtle reaction to it. Because some type of reactions we cannot avoid it. Just like there are Pancha Kasai Khan. To avoid that, every Grihasthas have to do the Panchamayagya every single day. You know what are Panchamayagya's? Every day is going to be Deva Dvija Guru Pragyo Pujanam Sochamarjavan Brahmacharyam Ahimsam Cha Sharirashta Pavuchite Tapasya. It's required to avoid that part. Something that is not avoidable has to be avoided by some other method. So Panchamayagya. Because you are putting the living entities into the blender and the vacuumer every single day. To avoid that, the Shastra says you have to throw the food grains outside of your house and feed the living entities right there. First part of it. Worship the demigods, or Deva meaning Lord Vishnu. Every day the worship of Lord Vishnu has to be done. To avoid unknowable things, unavoidable things. Something that can be avoided has to be avoided. Worship of Lord Vishnu, Deva. Dvijya, worship of the Brahmanas. The Shastra says that any time that we are about to eat something, or any time we have our portion of cooking, the Shastra said keep, even my mother does it right now, that one portion of you just take one muthi of chawal and you put in the side from that portion. Okay? One muthi of dal, put to the side. One muthi of sabji or some duicha, ek do aloo, put in the side. So that you actually give to the traditionally of Brahmanas. Either you feed the Brahmana with it or you feed the cow with it. So in that way you become free from the sin of the 5 slaughterhouses that you maintain. So things are subtle. Now we don't give importance to it. This culture was there. I know in India, say even in our timing, before we eat, the parents should go to Gausala and do the worship of the cows first, isn't it? Originally that was the tradition. Because that was there right there. But as the time goes, we are not giving importance to it. But the reactions are still there. The slaughterhouses are still there. Although we might avoid the consequence part. So, in everything, doesn't matter what dharma we get into, there is going to be a problem. That's what he is trying to say. So therefore, greatest dharma is to adopt the worship of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This has to be there. Deva Dvijya. In every house, the Supreme Lord has to be worshipped. And Nama Yajna for Kali Yuga, the chanting of the holy name of the Lord, chanting of the auspicious mantras in the home, so that purifies the existence itself. And Monata, or keeping silence, not talking anything negative in the house at least for 10-15 minutes. For that, automatically if you catch a Japamala and chant for 10 minutes, you will avoid it without even really, trying to avoid. Say that, your wife really wants to tell you something and she really has to say something and you really have to, reply. But the thing is, I have to chant for 10 minutes. Let's argue after 10 minutes, even if we do it. Maybe by the power of Mahamantra, the Mahamantra will give you that understanding that even after 10 minutes you will not quarrel. Because the intelligence is already purified by then. Every anger is been under control. So, what he is trying to tell Maharaj Raugan is that even if you think that you are engaging yourself in perfect karma, there are loopholes everywhere. So therefore, it is a duty of every person to engage in a direct devotional service unto the Supreme Lord. Chant the holy name of the Lord. Worship of the deity is very important. Why worship of the? Why not Nirakar Swarup? Why the deity Swarup? You know why? Are you used to communicating with anything that is formless in your life, any part of our life? Anyone? We are never taught to communicate with anything that is formless in an entire life. We are not told, even if your parents are in India, imagine that they are sitting in this chair and offer them the food. We are never trained to do that. We are trained to deal directly with everything. We deal directly with the children, we deal directly with everything. So our process is not a Nirakar process in anything. So therefore, why should it be Nirakar when it comes to Krishna? If nothing else is Nirakar. Isn't it? So it's easy to come and put a plate of prasadam and think that Jagannath is eating here. It's easy to accept that fact. Then to bring a plate of prasadam and think that Jagannath is there but he is not there. It's easier to communicate with the form because you have an object. So therefore, whenever you keep deities, two things happen in the house. You know, when you keep deities, two things happen. Makes you more disciplined. You avoid certain types of activities which are questionable. At least because the deities are there. Well, Krishna is there. I can tell you this. Okay? Baby, you tell your children, you can't eat this. You know why? Because Krishna is here. So, the deity swarup of the Lord being in the house means the house becomes more disciplined. So, everyone must keep deities in the house. Now, sometimes people say, you know what? नहीं रखेंगे, भगवान को रखने से बहुत काम नहीं कर सकते, फिर मतलब तो बहुत खाना भी नहीं मिलेगा, ये भी नहीं करने. We purposefully accept the path of sin because accepting Krishna, still this culture of fear is there. Fearful of doing a wrong act. But because I want to do anything better, don't keep it. No, this is wrong. Just because if Krishna comes, my life has to be more disciplined. Now I don't want to be disciplined, so don't keep it. So, these two things, worshipping the deities and chanting the holy name of the Lord, is essential. Now the question comes is, how is it that we get entangled with this process of karma and you can't come out of anywhere else? It's like once you trap, there is a saying that दिल्ली के लड्डू खाया भी पछताया, ना खाया भी पछताया, और ना खाए तो सामाजिक प्रेशर, खाए तो मानसिक प्रेशर. So sometimes certain types of activities are not avoidable. What forces this to happen? Then Maharaj Raghugan, when he asked this, that why anyway the living entities are so much forced into the karma, which we all have karma. Why is it? I know there is so much problem, like it's not easy for Maharaj Raghugan to leave the kingdom and go right away. The dharma of Maharaj Bharat connected him to the deer. Isn't it? There are so many dharmas that you can't avoid. So what impels the living entities? Then Maharaj Jadbharat tells the story which is called the forest of material entanglement. He says this material world is like a forest, jungle. Okay? Every living entities who goes to the forest, here the example is forest given in order to explain the mentality of a merchant. बोलते बनैया कहते हैं ना, बनैया. So why does the banaiya goes to the forest, which is very dangerous? Why? Why does anyone goes to the forest?
Get the goods. Get the goods.
Make a better profit. जंगल का माल खरीदना भी नहीं है. Yes, बस काटो और बेचो. धन और वासना. This is called desire for sense gratification is the cause of root right here. Now, Jadbharat goes right from the beginning. He says, every living entities are eternally connected to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Everyone is. And everyone is given that peace in their mind. Or everyone is given an activity. But sometimes we become dissatisfied by it. Or we want to make more out of it. Just like a person who has a nice business that he runs. Just because somebody says, jungle ki lakdiya becho, just sell the woods from the forest, you can make a better money. Now he takes a risk of facing the lions and tigers. You think that dense forest is going to be an easy place to go? It's going to be hard. It's not that easy. But he makes his mind because somebody told him you can make a better money there. Or not being satisfied with the process of devotional service, somebody says, you know what? You have your own independent space where you can do the things you want. That is the material world. In a spiritual world, there is a spiritual freedom. But there is no material freedom. But because we want the material freedom, we want to be diverted out. Yes? So, the Shastra says, just as a merchant enters into the forest, the living entity, he rejects his own position as being the servant of Krishna and comes to this material world because of his desire that he has. Now, it doesn't matter when, how much you try, everyone is going to have an independence desire. Like, Krishna does not control anyone's desire at any cost. Yes? If Krishna enforces us to accept something, then you say, it's because of you I'm accepting it. So the Lord wants us to be mature about accepting certain things. Isn't it? Just like if you force children so much to accept the things that you want to accept, you want them to accept, they will say, my parents are bad, they are forcing me to, and they try to control me so much. So ultimately, what you want them to do, they might do one day with their own realization, facing the problem. They face the problem and they will say, Dad, I want to stay with you. Mom, I want to stay with you. Because they know going and renting a big apartment and living outside what it is requiring them to work like a donkey. And ultimately, that's what the parents were saying. Ghar mein baitho, padhai karo. Just be at a home. You don't need to be outside. Just stay here, do nice homework, study well. Everything is okay. Now, to experiment this freedom, they think, nahi, khud kamaega, khud khaega. So they go out. And we see this lot in the society. And sometimes they end up being homeless because they have rejected the parents, which was a secure home. Then ultimately they realize and says, Papa, Mummy, I made a mistake. I'm coming back to the home. So once they make that decision from their side, their stay in the home is going to be longer than the parents tying them with a rope. Isn't it? So now if Krishna impels us to do certain things, then we think it is Krishna's idea, we'll still fight against Krishna. We'll still fight against God. But if Krishna creates such type of circumstance, such type of environment, and we maturely accept the process of devotional service, is it better?
Yes.
Yes? So therefore Krishna gives the freedom wheel. Otherwise Krishna doesn't have to give a freedom wheel. He can be a government, like you made this much income this year and you are impelled to pay us this much, please send us the check. Isn't it? Like, do you have a choice of what you want to send to the government?
No.
Do you have a choice? No. They will tell you by demand, by right, this is our right. And you have to send. If not, we are here, let's go to the jail. No option there.
Yeah.
But in relationship to and devotional service, that's the very reason why Krishna does that. Now, there is a prison. This material world is also known as a prison. To correct them, he creates certain types of circumstances. Krishna does that. Sometimes he might take our husband, sometimes he might take our wife, sometimes children, sometimes 10 years earlier than we thought of. Sometimes we think that my job is going to last for 10 years and it goes within 2 months. Some type of situation is created subtly somewhere just to make us realize what this material world is. So we don't become too comfortable with it. Sometimes we become too comfortable. It's a part of the game that he plays. So, the living entity rejects the position of being the servant of Krishna, the unalloyed subservient of Krishna, and he comes to this material world called the forest of material entanglement. The forest itself is the human form of life, this environment that we are in. It's a forest. We are entangled from all sides. India में बोलते हैं ना कि up to the 16 years of age, the life of a girl is like a bird. You can fly anywhere. Mummy, दोस्त के घर जा रही है. Mummy, I am going here. Mummy, I am going there. Once you are शादीशुदा and you have a children, I am sure a lot of the Matajis cannot fly out here. They have been tied by so many knocks in so many sites, tied all over the place. Even to say I am going 10 minutes to Costco. Even that is a problem. Because of these knots that we have all over the place. Just tied knots after knot. No freedom. Any freedom in our life? No. No single life, no enjoyment. This is the way that Krishna creates it. We wanted, the very reason of coming to this world was total freedom. But things are such that even to move to two sides, no space. It's very congested. So the living entity comes and takes birth into the society and gets hampered by the three modes of material nature. Sattvagun, Rajagun and Tamagun. This is natural. Just like when there is a great anxiety that you face in the house, do you have to act like you are lamenting? It's like, hope Krishna doesn't do that to anyone. Say that one of the devotees here come to the home and say that, oh, I lost my job. the wife does not have to act like she's crying. If that factor, that husband was a big factor to the house, the natural tear will come out. No action is required. In any case, no action is required. Or if you are happy with something, do you have to act like you are happy? No. Even if you try to hide the happiness, it's going to come out from somewhere, in some corner of the side. You are going to call somebody. If your husband says, no, this is a surprise party, let's surprise everyone. Somewhere, someone you are going to phone and say, you know what, there is a good news here. It has to come out. The suffering has to come out. The happiness has to come out. You can't avoid all that. Yes? So we come to this material world and we get entangled. This is called the forest of material entanglement, the living entity. First of all, we come and we are hampered by the three modes of material nature, Sattva Gun, Raja Gun, Tama Gun. When you are happy, you have to display the happiness. And when you are passionate about things, you have to display the passionate. And when you are angry about the thing, doesn't matter how much you try to control, the anger is going to pop out from some corner somewhere. So this is called Tama Gun. It is going to produce some byproduct somewhere also. You can't help it. Isn't it? So, three modes of material nature. Now based on what mode is more predominating. Just like if you are associating with the people who are just business minded, it does not take a time for you to become a business minded also. Does it take a time? You will make business out of anything. Just like a sadhu goes to the forest, he sees the big tree in the forest. And what is the first thing that comes to his mind? And what a nice place to meditate under. Yes? If Banaya woodcutter goes to the forest and he looks at the huge tree, what does he think? Are kya lakdiya or kya kaat? So based on what's your mentality. So if you associate with somebody in the mode of goodness, it is natural that you develop those qualities of mode of goodness. If you associate with somebody with mode of passionate, you don't have to act like. You will become before even you notice. Just like you see that, which we see in the case of my daughter, who is right now 4. Sometimes we do a makeup in our house. So that is there. So my daughter exactly doesn't know what is the nature of a makeup. So she takes the brush, the toothbrush that is meant for brushing the teeth, and she goes try to put some powder here, some powder there with the toothbrush. She exactly doesn't know the value of the makeup yet. Nothing about it. But it's a copycat. Because she sees mother doing at some point, she does see her older sister doing it, so now she thinks that it is mine also. So without even any knowledge, without even any intention, you begin to copy. So if you associate with somebody in a mode of ignorance, what do you become? There is a saying that donkey, what is the movement of donkey? Only one movement the donkey does. You know what that is? Up and down. It doesn't do the side part. The donkey doesn't do the side part. And what is the movement of the bull or the cow? They do the side. They swing to the side. The bulls and the cows swing to the side, the donkey swings up and down. So you go and tie the donkey with the bull and cows, he develops that quality of swinging to the side also. The Shastra gives that example. So in the life of a devotee, we associate with the devotees who are like-minded and who are practicing devotional service, what are we impelled to be? What are we forced to be? Devotees. You develop natural qualities, so you have to choose an environment where you want to be at. So based on that, the living entity comes to this world, except the three modes of material nature. And naturally, based on what environment he is at, he develops those qualities also. Now, if not, if he develops the bad qualities and wants to become a sense gratifier, what comes into his life now? The senses. Anything that my senses want. First, three modes of material nature. Now, first you select the three modes of material nature and you choose what mode. So every mode has its own life standard also. So just like those in mode of goodness, naturally what sound are they attracted to? In a mode of goodness, what sound are we attracted to? Bhajans. Bhajan. That you just want to hear the bhajan of some devotees. It's a sound, but you are attracted to the bhajan. And what food are you attracted to?
Prasadam.
Only the prasadam of Krishna. Yes? And what sangha are you attracted to? Sadhu sangha.
Sadhu.
Yes? And what type of food?
Sattvic.
What is that?
Offer to Krishna.
What is the food in mode of goodness? If you don't know what the food in mode of goodness is, you might take the Rajasic food also in between. Ayu, Sattva, Bala, Rogya, Sukha, Prithvi Vivardhana, Rasya, Snigdha, Stira, Ridya, Ahara, Sattvika, Priya. This is what Krishna says. Ayu, any food grain that increase the life duration. Healthy, not fat like, Sometimes you see, you naturally choose those food. Ayu, Sattva, anything that purifies your existence, that is purifying to you. Bala, anything that gives you strength also. So considering the strength giving has to be Ayu, increasing the lifespan, and it has to be also purifying. So it cannot be only Bala and not purifying. It's all connected to it. Ayu, Sattva, Bala, Arogyam makes you healthy. Sukha gives you complete happiness. And happiness of realization, let's put it this way. Just like most of those people who have a habit of smoking or like injecting drugs within them, they derive a happiness from madness. The more they are ignorant to a reality, more they are unable to realize the world or even realize where they are. That is called the happiness. But happiness in mode of goodness is completely realized happiness. You realize the happiness that you are going through. Sukha Prithvi Vivardhana, Rasya, very tasty. Snigdha, very nourishing, Krishna says. Stira makes a very strong determination in life. Ridya, and makes you little bit fat also. Ridya.